This thing does this. Guys. This thing wants to run. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind. And today, we're back with the 1983 Kawasaki GPZ1100 that we're getting ready to ride to Colorado for the Colorado Vintage Motorcycle Show. The show is June 10th. We should be leaving on June 6th. And we got a few things left to button up before we can actually ride this thing. Again, we have not ridden this motorcycle yet, and in about 3 weeks, we plan on, a little less than 3 weeks, we plan on riding it about 3,000 miles round trip. So our task today is exhaust gaskets. We have a little tick just because when I put it back together, I didn't even check to see if it had exhaust gaskets. We were putting it together just to stop flames from shooting out the front end of it. The other thing that we're going to do today is get this hanger to fit right there. And I think it may just be some adjustment. If I can do that, we're good. Exhaust will be buttoned up. And one more thing off the list. One step closer to being able to ride it. And just to catch you guys up, we are waiting on the sprocket. So we got the nut because we were missing these pieces and parts when we got it. And for those of you guys who don't know, we picked up this thing for free. It had been stored outdoors with no spark plugs for years. So what they were trying to do was turn it into a Street Fighter, putting a front suspension from a GSXR. So that's why they had the sprocket off, to trying to align the sprocket with the GSXR rear wheel, which we no longer have. We have stock stuff. So we have this correct hardware, but we did not get the correct sprocket. So we're waiting on that. Hopefully that will be here tomorrow or Tuesday so that we can put this thing together, put a chain on it, see if the transmission actually works, and then go from there. So we're going to do one of the last things that we have to do, the exhaust, before we ride it. And that should make it run and sound so much better. But let me just do this. It's ridiculous. It starts up. It pops over. It has a fast idle. That's why you're hearing it rev a little higher. The fast idle switch until it warms up, then it goes, and then you can kick it off. Oh, the other thing we did is, if I set you guys right here, you remember in a past episode we were working on the lights, and we do now have lights working everywhere. The headlight has to be on. I mean, it has to be running for the headlight to work. So let's high and low beam. But the good thing is that we now have turn signals, and that was all due to, ended up being the problem was this relay, this flasher relay, which goes in here. Let me show you. This was so if I pop this guy off, come on, it's super easy. So this guy right here is where this guy goes, special just for this. This guy super expensive. This guy, auto parts, $13, 3-prong flasher relay. Put it in, I got flashers. Could have went with this. That was like $70, something like that, or $13. This one, if I have a problem, guess what? I can get it from any auto parts store. So that worked out pretty good. I'll take that as a win because these are hard to come by. And the only thing different is the shape. This one's just a little bit bigger. So I didn't need that. Once I realized that they had all the same connectors and they were in the same space and the spacing was the same, I was like, there's no problem. We're just going to get it. We'll try it, $13. And it worked, so we're good. So now we're going to get you guys set up, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull the exhaust off so we can put these exhaust gaskets on, put that back on, see if we can mount up the exhaust permanently, and then be done. So stick with us, and then we'll be one step closer to getting this guy going. And guys, we have a new sponsor to announce for our ride to the Rockies, and it's VanTrue. They do dash cams for cars and motorcycles, and they're supporting us with the Falcon F1, which is the front and rear dash cam for the motorcycle. So more on that, and thanks to VanTrue for sponsoring the ride to the Rockies. And if you're interested in sponsoring, you can hit us up at Motorcycle Rewind on Instagram or motorcyclerewind@gmail.com. So let's get into it. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, guys, getting these off. And again, these things weren't on super tight. I never torqued them down. We were just putting them on again to stop flames from coming out. To fit in. And so now we gotta go in here and dig out these crush washers. Okay, there's the first one. Good, that one didn't have to dig out too bad. This is gonna go a little easier than anticipated. That's two. Let's see, oh, look at this. There's three, and come on. Oh, look at that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, this is gonna go well. We got 4 of them, which is good. Let's get the new ones. Let's put those in. Okay, let's see if we can wrestle these guys up here. I put a little dab of grease to hold the exhaust gaskets, the crush washers in, while I'm putting these guys in, just so I didn't have to fight with the gasket falling in and out. And I'm gonna put this one in it's got both of those in just to support it a little bit right there. And guys, let me know how you do this. This is the way I do it. Doesn't mean it's the right way, it's just the way I do it. And if you do it a way that's different and easier, let me know. And I just work my way across, kind of getting these guys in. These they require a little bit of finagling. To get them in. And I'll put one more in here. Just to hold it, and then we got 2 on the other side. See, like I'm not even seated in here yet, so let me see if I can get that. Once I get these in, then I'll get the other ones in. And then we'll just gradually suck it down, getting them lined up, kind of wiggle it around. Get them seated where they need to go, and then we'll be good. Okay, we're gonna see if we can clean this exhaust up a little bit. Might as well before we pop it back on. We'll pop the end cap off, kind of put a little bit of paint on it really quick, and then we will try to clean up this aluminum best we can. Hoping this cap just pops off as it should, but it's been kind of neglected for years, so come on. Come on, wouldn't you know, the last one. I'm knocking stuff off the wall here. Last one's gonna be the one to give us problems. Let's see. We can tap it in.
All you gotta do is just tap it in. Just tap it in.
Just tap it in. There we go. There we go. It came off pretty easy. So we'll clean that up, put a coat of paint on it, make it black again, and then we'll polish this guy up really good. Let's clean this up first. Nothing like a little carb cleaner. I don't know if this thing is supposed to be black. Maybe just the edges. I thought it was. Doesn't look like it. Maybe it's supposed to be just clean. We can do something like that. Yeah, it's just aluminum. I guess a little Scotch-Brite goes a long way. Let's clean it up. Let's see if we go something a little more aggressive. How about that? AGGRESSIVE. Be aggressive. Come on, you guys paid attention at those high school football games to the cheerleaders. You know the chance. Boy, the original plan was to paint it black, which may seem like the better plan. I thought it was black, but it was just dirty. So I'm not going to polish this. I'm going to call it clean it. I'm just going to clean it a little bit. Just knock down some of it, and we're going to call it a day. Maybe on our ride to Colorado, since we are going to a vintage motorcycle show, we should kind of make it look better. I don't know. So this may be one of those things that we do along the way. It's going to be enough for right now because, like I said, I don't really feel like polishing aluminum. But I do want to get this clean. I would like to get off some of these paint transfers. Looks like that we have. So let's hit this with a little carb cleaner first, and then see what we can come up with. Why carb cleaner? Because it's what I have. And it may or may not work. Yep, that worked out good for the paint transfer for sure. Over time, when we get back, do we paint this thing up? You know, make that look a little bit better as it goes onto the bike? Or do we do that right now? Maybe we'll hit that with a little engine paint right now just to make that look a little bit better. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Okay, so I have it. It's not tightened down yet. I've got to figure out what this hardware is that goes right here. So I've got to look up the parts manual and see where it is. But I was able to clock the bracket, and it'll fit right there. So let me figure out what that hardware is, and then I'll get that mounted. I'll get back to you guys in just a moment. Okay guys, this is what you got to do. You got to go to the cmsnl.com and then go to the parts diagram, see what it is. I need number 131, and scroll down till I find 131. Looks like it's a 10 millimeter, 55 millimeters long. Looks like that. And then you go in here and you dig through here till you find it. So we'll see. Does that look like one? That looks like it could be one. Oh look, there's one too. We'll figure out which one is the right length. Those may work, but I think this one is probably the best bet. And then we're going to need to find one of these to go with it. I think that may be the right one. Yeah, that's going to be good. Okay guys, so we now have the exhaust mounted up. Look, you can tell just that little simple cleanup. I mean, I know it's not perfect, but that's way better than what it was. little paint down there just to make it look a little bit better. And then let's see how it sounds. So just no more ticking from the front end. It sounds so good. I mean, it sounds so good. Okay guys, this is where we are. We got the rear brakes set. We got turn signals. Wheel bearings, we do that when we change the tires. When we pull the wheels off. Clutch we haven't done yet. Well, because we don't have a sprocket to be able to test it. Shifter, that'll go on with that. Tires we don't have. This and this. So once we get this sprocket, that's going to move us on to everything else. And I got to get this set before I do tires and wheels, because there's no sense putting tires on, new tires on, if I can't get this to work. So the tires will be the last thing that happens, because we can road test it even when that happens, meaning up and down the neighborhood, things like that. We can do that, not getting up at speed or anything like that. But these tires, they're old, but they're not too weather checked. It's coming along. It's starting to look really good. I mean, it's little things like cleaning up the exhaust that makes it look better. There's another thing that I did that I'll show you guys, is I went ahead and just ran some touch-up paint all along the bottom here where this was rusted. The paint had flaked off, was rusted. You can see that there's some little ones right in here that I went ahead and touched up. Like this one I got to do a little bit more too, as you can see. But from 10 feet away, it makes it look pretty good. I did paint this rear rack. I couldn't deal with it anymore. It only had a little bit of powder coating left in 2 spots right here, and I just couldn't stand looking at it anymore. But you can see, like this guy right here, let me get you at the angle. You can see it because it's bubbled, but I went ahead and put some touch-up paint on it, on top of it. It's a little bit more right here. We'll touch up these a little bit more, and then we'll wet sand on top of it, just to get it to lay down a little bit more. But for where we're going, I think it's perfect. For where this thing was, neglected, left for dead, I mean, look how good these gauges look. So we're getting close. Everything's put together. Really cool is everything up here works. Well, you'll start to see that this is, let me turn this light off so you can see it again. I'll cycle it again because I think it's really cool. So here you have, top one's a fuel gauge, and then these are your warning lights. You have the side stand, oil, battery, and then the DFI, the fuel injection. So it does a system check, checks fuel, and then it does a system check all the way across to make sure it's good. If it wasn't, you would get a warning right here that would say, hey, this is it. And then, kind of neat dash system. This is the left turn, right turn. High beam is right here. It's not going to come on because it's got to be running. And then this is neutral. And then when the headlights are on, that comes on. Really cool thing is that this guy, this little button right here, this gauge, which is neat. The outside ring is RPMs. The inside ring is volts. So if I click the volt one right now, it shows you how much volts are in my voltage is in my battery, which is cool. And then it'll show you how much it's charging. So pretty cool. I mean, really kind of neat. You know, really old electronics when you think about it. We've got early fuel injection. So it's really neat. I was thinking about it the other day. Could I change these injectors that would give me a better spray pattern? As long as they fit in there and the connectors are the same, that would give me a better spray pattern. You'd probably even make it run more efficient. Because I would bet that it's not a multi-hole injector. It's probably just one hole that just dribbles some fuel out. But if you got something that really sent out a mist, maybe it would be better. So that could be something that we look into down the line, just for fun. Oh, I'll show you another thing that we did that we're going to do again. and I'll share with you guys. So you see what this looks like, right? How the paint is just all flaked off and it's all there. Well, this one looked the same way. And again, a Q-tip, some paint, and then just went and touched it up. Again, it's not perfect, and I don't want it to be perfect. I just want it to look a little bit better. And so if we can do that here on this side, come on, it's all starting to look really, this thing was abandoned. That's what's so shocking. You guys may be saying, well, Eric, it's not a concourse restoration. It's not perfect. But this thing was abandoned. It was left for dead. It was stored outdoors without spark plugs in it for years. Thankfully, the tank was left indoors. Thankfully, the fairings are in great shape. All the plastics are in great shape. Thankfully, the seat was left indoors. But this thing is, I'm really starting to like it. And I had zero interest in these things. First off, it's too big. I'm not a fan of big motorcycles because you can't have as many of them. But I think we may touch up the paint here, make it look a little, just clean it up. That would change it just dramatically. And if you guys don't know, we did the same thing on the Moto Guzzi engine, and it looks so good. And I'll put overhead what it used to look like, and yeah, it was just like this or worse than. And being able to touch it up, make it look better, that would change everything. Oh, the other thing I was able to do was the clutch cable was connected, but the clutch cable was seized. So I pulled the clutch cable out, soaked it in some vapor rust for a day or so, and then was able to free it up. Took some time, put the drill on the end of it to get it to spin around, to get it to loosen up, sprayed some juice in it. Now it's perfect. Again, try to repair before you replace, because I believe the best parts are going to be the ones that came on it. The best grade of parts are going to be the ones that came on it, unless you can find NOS stuff. But if you're buying a replacement or repo, why not fix the ones that I can? And it took me a day of soaking it and maybe a half hour of wiggling it and jiggling it around to get it to work. So guys, there you have it. We've got the exhaust on. This thing does this. Guys, this thing wants to run. So there you have it. Thanks for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and stay tuned because more Ride to the Rockies content coming. And once we get the sprocket for this bad boy, we're taking it for a ride. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So guys, again, thanks for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind. Do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind, and hit the subscribe button. And while you're in the subscribing mood, go ahead and wander on over to our buddies, Brickhouse Builds, Gold Guy, Moto Mango, Ace Cafe Bikes, Mile Zero Racers, and Plan B Motos, and give them a subscribe too. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day.